In this video, I want to talk about the various different hand and sword positioning and why in Cijian, for example, stabbing or Jiajian, why we have different positions. Sometimes very like two very obvious, sometimes it's vertical, sometimes horizontal stab, sometimes it's like this, sometimes like this, but actually in Wudang sword system we have 8 positions for stabbing. One could think that 2 positions enough, why 8? Or let's say you have this, and maybe you have this, it's enough. Why you need to have 8 positions? Let me explain first, or introduce first the positions, and then with the partner I explain the reasons of the different variations of deflecting and stabbing. Basically we have this Tai-Yang position, Tai-Yin position. I'm not talking about the grip right now. How to hold the sword, it's another topic, a whole different topic. Just the positioning of the sword for stabbing or deflecting, in this case stabbing. For stabbing, Cijian, for example, it can be sometimes used even for deflection, it's not our topic now, but for stabbing, and for Jiajian. So mostly we use this Tai-Yin position, Tai-Yang, Tai-Yin. Why is this called Tai-Yang? Because the inner side of the spine of your blade is the main side. So when the spine faces heaven, heaven is considered as Yang in Taoism, ancient Chinese tradition, and earth is considered as Yin, in ancient Chinese tradition. So heaven and earth, when the main side, main spine of the sword faces heaven, it's called extreme Yang, and if it's faced towards earth, it's called extreme Yin. And in between these two we have 6 others. We start with the Yang positions. First we have 4 Yang positions and 4 Yin positions. So first one, Tai-Yang. Then you have Shao-Yang. Shao means less or few, less Shao. Then you have Lao-Yang is this position. Then you have Zhong-Yin is this position, Zhong-Yin. And then you have Zhong-Yang is this position. Then you have Shao-Yin, and I turn it this way now, Lao-Yin, and of course Tai-Yin. These are the 8 positions. Now why we have 8 positions if stabbing is just stabbing? It is very significant for Wudang Jianfa, but maybe also other Chinese sword traditions, that they use different positions according to the 8 trigrams for stabbing for different situations and purposes. Now let's take this position here. Basically Jia, stabbing this way, Jiajian. So if it is Tai-Yin, mostly I will not use this technique stabbing from here. I don't have a power line. But now I need a partner, okay? So I call my lovely partner Norman here. When now you stand in front of the cam facing me. So when Norman does a step work to come out, a good amount of moment out here to attack me or something like this. So means he used step work, circling step work in order to play me into the emptiness. So I'm standing here, go in, go, whoop. This is my power line for the Tai-Yin. But not when I'm standing in front of him. This is not when I step here. So means my body and my hand, my like using sword hand is on my back side. My opposite leg is in front. When I stand like this, I don't step like this, look. Then this is the most used power line in Wudang sword. When I stand with the same side in front and he's in front of me, that's the step I use here, Tai Yang. You understand? So if we would have only one stabbing position, so he's here, let's say I can use it this way, he goes this way, and then I try to do it this way, you know, like, or try to make it this way. So when the attack comes, I try this and this. This is gonna fall out my hand very fast. When you use a little bit more force, look, it's gonna fall out. But now use force, whoop, you see? And that is one example for Tai Yin. I think the rest you can figure out, but I'm gonna show you one, two more. For example, why we have this stabbing. If I can stab like this, why I still have, this is not powerful, you know? So now come here, and now we come also into different topics. Maybe in future we do historically, make a video about historically swords from several periods, where they had, on the back side, they had this flat pommel, okay? It was not always like this, but they had it also during some periods. So you don't need this flat pommel, because I heard also in videos people say, yeah, you use this for stabbing, you have more power. Yes, but when you don't use this, when you don't do this, when you have a Tai Yin position, you want to stab, you want to do this, or let's say a flat Tzu Tai Yang position, you want to do this. This one is better power, power release than trying to do this. Okay, this also locks the shoulders and everything. So here you are opening up, but now you come a vertical step, vertical. Now look, you see this? Now, whoop. Now come this side. So slowly, look. Die. Now I stand in the position. I don't want to stab like this, because here's some armor. Let's say his body is strong, don't worry. So I go with power in, I can lose my sword if this like boom hits suddenly. Therefore I need this, and the flat pommel is there for this position. Then we have the same things for Zhong Yin, or let's say moon attack. Look, a normal jie intercepting, yeah, it's Shao Yin position. So basically, when this thing comes, boom, like this, and then from here without anything else, straight in. You understand? That is a Shao Yin position. So if I don't have this position, or let's say if I don't practice with these, I will always search for my perfect flat stab. Then I need to do this, 1, 2, 3, or I search for 1, 2, 3. But these 8 directions, because of the positions of the incoming attacks, sometimes you deflect with a, let's say, gua or ge, yeah, and step in. So often when the step comes down here, when I do this, it's already turned. Look, it's already turned, you understand? So from here, or come a little higher even. Look, vroom, vroom. You see this? Yeah? So suddenly you have the complete opposite side. So if I wouldn't have this, come again, if I wouldn't have this, I need another chess move. He has another chess move. Just generally, we are not explaining now all positions, because there are different various attacks where you use different positions. But because in our education, this kind of teaching comes after level 4. It's still the beginner levels, but people talking about pushing the sword and stuff, or they talk about the positions, but never I heard somewhere people explaining the purposes. Yeah, so I heard some stuff, but it's not really going into this efficiency of movement and effectivity of technique. Yeah. So therefore, just introducing 2 to 3 now, but the rest you can figure out. Yeah. Sometimes you block like this, it's this position. Sometimes you have this, it's the Jung Yin position. Yeah. Sometimes, as I said, like he stands not right in front of me, but goes here. So it's this position having contact and stepping in. Basically in level 2, we have from our 13 attacks, we have already 4 steps. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we already have some positions, but all 8, it comes with level 4. So the people slowly get to used to this. Yeah, okay, that's for today's positioning. The names, you can remember them or not, it's not the point. Like you can also just say flat down, flat up or something like this. It's easier for us now English speaking, but of course when you want to learn it classically, there are these names, and these are basically transmitted from Li Jinglin. And also the 13 principles, our main, like today we also talked about this Lan principle or Dian Beng or something. So you have 34 principles. It's a pool of 34. Every lineage and line from these 34 main principles uses their own 13 principles. This basically is also not only Wudang based, because Li Jinglin, when he invited the grandmasters, also Sun Lutang is part of the team who created these 13 principles that they used later. Sun Lutang, then Bagua Jian and Wudang Jian, and one other grandmaster whose name I don't have right now. These 3 basically were the main guys who create basically the today's 13 principles as they use it in Danpai Jian. But in Sung Wei, one generation back, Sung Wei, the master of Li Jinglin, basically Xu Benchen was the master, yeah, the abbot of the Purple Heaven Temple in Mount Wudang of Li Jinglin. But the main sword master, the sword immortal, Sung Wei, he had only 4 principles. It's another topic, not for today. He didn't have 13 principles. But from these 4, all they come. Yeah, that's maybe another topic for another day. So from the 4 principles, what are the 4 essential principles and how the other principles spread from these 4? Yeah, it's another topic. If not today, it will be too long. Mobility. Mobility, yeah, it's more important than the sword positions for me. So if you can move fast, you can save your life fast, okay? If you are too static and think everything is done here, there will be a guy moving faster than you, and then your wrist skill will be not enough. Your whole body motion. Sung Wei's main principle, he was also a master of Qinggung. Why? Qinggung. Why? He can, like today's parkour, anytime, anywhere he can, like in the one of the exhibitions Sung Wei did. Now it's getting longer and longer, but it's okay. It's from the history, but it's good stories. So 1800, yeah, 1800, some like towards the end of 1800s. They wanted an exhibition on Jian, Sung Wei. People standing there, temple. He said, okay, watch carefully. He has a sword in the hand. Watch carefully, yeah? In the next moment, he jumped up a wall. And then he jumped down, and that was my exhibition for the sword. So he didn't swing the sword, he didn't do this, he didn't do the stabbing, he did a mobility exhibition. Very good, yeah. You know? And that is basically, you can Google this. You can Google this in Chinese websites. This story is, you can find this also with sources, okay? So in the West, of course, everybody has a book and thinks, yeah, that is the technique and that is what we need to train. Yes, of course, you need to train that. But why you don't get the spirit of these grandmasters what they wanted to, these messages, what they wanted to give to the people. I mean, when today people ask me, give us please, Ismet, give us a sword exhibition, I start my dungeon, yeah, like boom, boom, boom. I try to show them some beautiful forms. But back then, look at this message. They want to see swordplay, and he's whoop, making some movement exhibition and say that is more important than the handling of this weapon to survive a fight. Yeah? That's why the very first principle in our Wudang sword system is handling, not the handling of the wrist and the handling of the weapon itself is the most important. Handling the whole body motion with the weapon is priority. Yeah? We have said it so many times, and that's why level 1 the people start with the step work and moving fast and all that kind of stuff. Why? Like using Xiebu, Chabu and Chilinbu, Chilungbu, basically these 4 stances, but in a fast, rapid method for the mobility. Because at the end, when people coming at you, we talk now sword, but it can be knives, it can be anything. When people attack him now, yes, he can choose whoop immediately from his spot to defend it. But look, what he makes is the best thing you can do. Go out of reach first. Because your eyes are not fast enough for the blade. You understand? Go out of reach, because then he is playing. Then he is locking you in. You understand? And trapping you in. And he can decide if he stays in Bagua distance, goes into Wuji, or goes into this middle Taiji distance or not. That's his choice. But at the very beginning, first moment, make sure that you're out of reach of this blade, and then let's start this game again, and then with your rules. Yes. Yeah? Enough said. Peace out, guys.